Very gentlemanly young man.
I know, I'm so impressed.
Good job, guys.
Hi. Welcome, welcome. Glad you could join us. You're not late, no rush. Take time to breathe. We're going to ask you to evaluate them, and on some of these you can only mark up to a certain level, and there's a front and back. It's part of the most probably confusing. These are our department objectives. If you think you did something that sounds like it fits, put a little check mark on it, just kind of gives us feedback if we're covering something. Okay? And if you need it, and your choice of seats.
With a piece of paper.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Please, if you can sit one of the paper seats or keep the social distancing. Thank you.
Gentlemen, you've been here before, you know the process, there's a front and a back, there's pins there if you need it. You know how good they are, but there are pins there. And he's asked you to sit in place where he's left the paper. And you might, well, that's fine. All right, well, thank you for coming today. Let me do a moment of introduction. I'm Michelle Todd. I think I know most of you, but I'm representing the Computer Information Systems Department, of which Javi is a part of, one of our majors. One of the requirements is for them to do a senior project, and then they have to give a presentation on it. They had to do something, build something, create something, fix something of some kind of magnitude. He also has to write what we call a technical paper. That would be like somewhat of a manual. So if you love this project, you might want to take a look at it, and then you can create the project yourself according to his paper with some reflection and some other things. So I have this in the back if you're interested in looking at it and giving some input on that, but that's not part of today. We've asked you to evaluate him as a presenter. If you don't understand the technical parts, that's fine too. You don't have to. We grade him differently separately from that. And so, but we're glad you're here. We're representative of like a board meeting. So any questions, he's going to present for about 15 minutes or so. And then you can ask him anything that you had questions about, and we would welcome those questions at the end, okay? So Mr. Javi Diaz, I'm going to turn it over to you,
Thank you.
and you can take it from there.
So thank you for coming. I'm Javier Diaz, and I'm going to present the video game that I created during this semester. This video game is called Pokemon HLGU, and this is a Pokemon game based in the school. So this is the outline that I bring to you in a little paper in your chair. First of all, I'm going to explain why I got this idea, some background for how I get it. I'm going to explain the main goals for of the project. What was the goal for the project, the entire project prototype, or what was the idea before. I'm going to show you the app that I use for do this project, RPG Maker XP. It's an application, and I'm going to explain how it works and how to create your own game in there. and the files used for create this game that is called Pokemon Essentials. I'm going to finish the conclusion with bringing one of you to their computer so you can play a little bit the game at the same time that you are asking questions about it. So, why the idea? My childhood can resume in Pokemon. My country, Spain, since 2000, everybody played Pokemon. If someone don't play Pokemon, it's because really don't like it. But you can ask 95% of the people that born at my time and can say you, yeah, I played Pokemon too. I played these games since 2004, 2005 with my friends in the school, high school, outside the school, home, everywhere, because it was really famous, really, really famous. This is some example. We have cards, more, all type of games that people use during this that time for play about the Pokemon. Also, this game was really easy to create once you learn, of course, and edit it. This game is a really basic code that you can find in the internet, and after that, and you learn how to use it, you can edit it yourself or create amazing games. We found a lot of many tutorials in the internet. We did 5 different languages. I choose Spanish and English because that's the main language that I control. But there are a lot of different languages that you can learn about how to create these games. So the main goals. This is the most important part, create my own game. I want to create my own game for this class, but at the same time I want to create my own game by myself, ignoring the class. Because it was something that I was saying in my house. Yeah, it's something that I can start to create, it's something that I really like it to do, but I don't have any time. But in this semester I found the time, thanks for the class. So I started to create the game and I finished a little prototype. But at the same time, when I was here, I was thinking like, yeah, but that times was a long time ago, like 15 years ago. So at the same time that I created the game, I want to like remember that times. Remember what I did in my childhood when I was in the high school, in the middle school. So the problem was, how can I find something that keep together all of that, as something that can be related with my childhood, and at the same time connected with my actual life, because the past is past. It's really beautiful to remember the good things, not too much the bad things, but it's beautiful to remember. But how can I connect something, 15 years of difference between that, different countries, different parts of the world? So I found Pokemon HLGU, taking Pokemon for my childhood and my actual life, and HLGU, the school where I'm at right now. So for do that, I use RPG Maker. RPG Maker is the application that I use for create HLGU. It's really easy to understand the first time that you learn about it, and it's really intuitive. This is the logo for the application. Please, if you try to use my technical paper for download the application and create your own game, be secure that this is the real logo, because there are a lot of viruses and a lot of fake applications in the internet that can create a lot of problems. And this is how looks the interface of the application. This application, if you have a really good eye, this is in Spanish. Why? This is the most stable and secure version that I found the time that I started the game. Now I know that there's another version in English, but in my paper I translate everything, so you can use the Spanish one for your English game. Also, Pokemon Essentials. This is the magic, okay? Why? A Pokemon game is a game that is created by a group of developers with a lot of time, like 2 years of work, like a normal work. You are students, you are workers, you have your own work. You are going to use this like a hobby. So this is what will help you to keep your time easy, because all the files that is close to the, I don't know how to explain it right now. It's the files that you have here. Most of the files are the same for the same games. This is the files that help the game works. you only need to edit some of the files for create your game unique. But most of them are the same. So you're not going to spend 100,000 hours typing all of them if you can take it and put it in your game and you're going to have it. So this is the presentation right now here. But I'm going to show you the real stuff. The game. Oh, sorry, my fault. This is the real game. This is RPG Maker, like I told you. Everything is in Spanish, but this is where the magic is. We can go to the first one, here. So this is the first map of the game. If someone here that knows what is this part can say it right now. It's really easy to know, I think. The two buildings, volleyball court. So this is Fletcher.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the Fletcher part, the forest behind. So what they choose Fletcher like the intro map for the game, because when a freshman came here, it's not a linear path around the school. You have to go to the admin building, take your classes, your payments, talk with advisors, and probably you're going to go back home. So I can do like a player go straight all the school for a start to the main. So I prefer to start here in Fletcher and go straight up until the party center. So like we see is the Fletcher stuff. Right here you have the houses created. And I'm going to explain this. This is the most important part, caps. The caps are when you create the game. This is your pencil basically. So you take the stuff and you put it in. But what happens? You have to take care of your caps. The first cap is really important that be the ground, the floor that you are stepping out, because it's the only part where your character is going to cross. If you play something in the second one, when a character goes to this track, for example, it's going to crash until the track, because it's in the second one. So we have to take care of this, because you can have a lot of problems if you get wrong with this little thing. And in the third one, you're going to have the thing that is over something. Because if I'm here, you can see my laptop, because I'm in the third right now, and my laptop is in the second. So it's really important to use this, because the game can be really malfunctional if you make mistakes about this. And this is the events cap. The events caps help you to create events and more things during the game. Because for example, in this door is a little white square. That helps you to teleport to the different map that is here. And teleport you right there, and you can enter in the next map. Because this is a good application, this is really powerful, but if you choose to get more than 90 plus 90 square size of your map, your computer, doesn't matter the powerful that it is, it's going to be really slow. It's really important that create maps less than 90 plus 90, and if you can create one, create two different, and use these little things for create the event of teleport or even for cross map. So for this prototype of the game, I create Fletcher, the Fletcher forest behind, forget the first wild Pokemon stuff that you can find, and you can fight against some of the people that is in the forest. I create the quads, like I tell, I'm going straight up from Fletcher to here, so I create the quads. This is not really look like the quads, because these two buildings is really important to have in the game, because it's the real Pokemon game that I told you before, that you don't need to create by yourself, because it's already created and you can save a lot of time. So this is for help your Pokemon, and this is for buy stuff for your adventure. And don't look like a quad, but like I say, it's really important to have, because you can have really big problems in your game. I create some tracks. This is the track that is go from the quad, go to the field. Here is the soccer field, here is the baseball field. But like it's a prototype, I spent around 150 hours for this. I spent 30 more hours that the class recommended me for do. But so I have to close this and keep doing the game during this summer and next year. And I'm really excited for finish this game. So I'm thinking to finish this game end of the year of 2021. But here is when the adventure finishes, right now. But hopefully I create another one in the right side of the quad, forget, another things for do. Like you can spend 2 hours, 3 hours for game. You can think, okay, you spend 150 hours in a game and I can play only 3 hours. I say, yeah, because this is not everything that I did. In this game, you have a lot of background work that you have to do for the game works that is really complicated, like here. This is the worst part of the game. This is the most important, the most advanced. Please take care when you use this part, because any little change in one of these 5, you can completely destroy your game and you can't play it anymore. So this is what is the most important, like I say, like here, is telling everything to the game. This is the instruction for the game. This is not my instruction for you. This is instruction for the game saying, hey, you have to do this for the user. For the user has the best experience playing this game. And this is the last part that I told you in the presentation. This is your folder for the game. I choose to show you the creator edition because I create 2 different editions of the game where you can edit your game. You can ask for this copy for the Computer Information System Department if you want to play or create with this. And here, this orange round circle, sorry, that's the most important in this folder. This is your game. When you click here, you are in. You are playing right now. You are playing. And this is the editor. This is where you can edit all that I showed you before or make work in here. So let's play. So I'm going to ask someone to come here to play the game if you want. And now is the time for ask me everything that you want or you have during the presentation. If someone can come, someone wants to come to play the game, is free to come. If not, please ask me any question that you have during the presentation. I'm going to keep the distance, social distance, and just, I forget to tell you, you have to use the arrows, always. Your mouse doesn't work in this game. You have to use the arrows, enter for choose. So any questions? Yeah.
So you've done a lot of level editing, custom maps for the game, right?
Yeah, I do load like an essential part that is unbearable for every game that you use. And after that is when I step, like, it's like, I can explain it like I found the ground for my game, and I build all the windows, all the walls, the ceiling for my game.
Okay.
Because all these games, the background is the same. Is the same. But the problem that I have in this game too is because I found a Spanish version. The game was in Spanish too. Because for create all this in English, I have to go to the script, like I told you, the more advanced part, please edit it with caution. I have to go there and change everything that I found. I need to change everything from Spanish to English. And taking care at the same time that if I change it from Spanish to English, don't have any problems in the code of the game for to stop the game. Because if he continues playing, we are going to find some of the parts of the game that is going to say to be in Spanish. Why? Because I don't find where is it? No, because when I change it, the game says it's broken. So I have to keep it in Spanish for keep the game working.
Did
Like,
you
yeah.
make any other large changes, like change characters or anything like that, or is it kind of like what was there? But
you can do whatever you want. Change characters, the Pokemon. If you create a new Pokemon, you can take the picture and put it in the game. What is the problem? You have to edit the scripts and say, hey, I add this new Pokemon, read it. Because if you don't say to the game, read this my new Pokemon, the game is going to don't work. Because when it's going to show your Pokemon, say, hey, but what is it? I don't know what is the Pokemon. And it's going to this work. This application is really good because any single mistake that you have is going to stop and it's going to tell you an advice that say, hey, this line the code in this file, a specific file, has problems. Please edit it, review. So it's really, really intuitive. Yeah.
Can you put the monitor down so that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to break it. You know? This is why
Maybe
I
you
leave
can lay it
there.
on its face.
De nada. So any other questions? Yeah.
What took you the longest, making the maps or writing and figuring out pieces inside the code?
Right.
Writing the code?
Writing code is the because everything that you have there that shows in the screen for writing, I have to type it before, and I have to say to the game, hey, in this part of the game you have to show this part of writing. So at the same time, that because the playable zones, I spend around 30 hours all the parts. I spend around 30 hours. But I spend the same time for the writing, 30, 35. But the problem is I have, like I told before, the translation. Because typing the translation and changing everything, I spend around 20 more hours only for translation. Because yeah, the writing part, because the part of the images and the maps and everything is really simple at the time that you learn to use the caps, like I said before, and do everything. It's a repetitive thing. It's more like you have to have in your mind the idea that you want to do and put it in the game. That's it. But the writing, you have to type everything without mistakes because any comma, any dot that you miss, the game is going to say, I can't, it's broken, and it's not going to work, you know? So yeah, definitely the writing is the most part, the part that I spend most time. Any other questions?
Had you ever made a game before?
No. Never. Never for this caliber, of course. I made these easy games, Snake, something like the games that found in our Nokias like 30 years ago, something like that. But for this caliber and this style with this application, never in my life. I learned this semester. I spent a lot of time watching videos, reading information, both languages, Spanish, English, because maybe you found a really good article about it. It's talking about that specific thing. But what I do after this. So you need to find another article, and I spend a lot of time finding information for make this game. So if anyone else want to play too, can. If anyone else want.
I think you have a question.
Do you have any questions? Yeah.
What was the most fun part about it?
The most funny part?
Fun.
Create the characters. Because the characters are basically people that is here. Of course, like the game is not a big game. It's not a big game. It's a prototype because I spent a lot of time to it. I asked the people that is in the game right now for, hey, can I use your character and your name and everything for use the game? And they give me approbation, so I put it inside. But my big idea was to, because I don't know what people was here 10 years ago because I was not there. I was not here. But my general idea for create the big game was to put everybody that I know in this college, put it in some part of the game. So let me help you a little bit. He forgets to take your Pokemon, so you can fight right now.
Okay. Where did I go find my
So
Pokemon?
your Pokemon is in the green building,
Okay.
like The doctor tell it to him, but he didn't read it too good, so
Oh.
he didn't pick it. But yeah, it's upstairs. It's in the table in front, in the right. Up there, yeah. That's your Pokemon. I'm going to tell you a little history why I picked Minun like a Pokemon. Minun is the first toy that I get when I was young, 5 years old. I take a little this size of Minun in my life. My grandma gave it to me one day, and so this is why I pick, because normally everybody knows Pikachu and all of them, but I prefer to choose this one because this is what I connect to my childhood, because this is what the first that I get, so this is the first that I give it to you. Any other questions?
What was the hardest problem you ran into other than translation?
At the time that I was translating, I wanted to add some scripts to the game for make it smoother. So when I add these scripts, you need to find it in blogs for Pokemon Essentials or wikis. But when I put it in there, the game was saying what's wrong, it's wrong, and I stayed like 3 days thinking what was happening, because I tried a million times how to fix it, but finally I can fix the problem. The code was wrong, but I need to investigate during 3 days, videos, other articles, why was the problem. So this is why I tell you, take care of what you find, what you update. Please make a copy of your game. If you start a game, make a copy, a backup file, just in case you make a mistake that you can fix or it's really hard to fix. Doesn't matter. Forget that file and take your copy and start creating about this one. Because I don't want that you spend days like I spent during this semester fixing one little problem.
Where can we play, what platforms are this game playable on?
Just PC.
Just PC?
Just PC, and like I explained in the technical paper, it's important to download the extension of the game. If you don't download the extension for the RPG Maker website, the game, when you start it, is going to appear as an error message and you can't play. Doesn't matter if you can play or you can create, it's really, really important, it's imprescindible that you download that extension. For help you in the folder that is the game also, I create a little text document that is all the links that are important for the game. I give you the links, safe links that works here. I test in other computers and works too. For you to download and don't have the problem that I have to spend hours and hours finding the right one. Any other questions?
Could it be moved to play on the phone?
No. It's just for PC. This application is just for PC. You can play in other. One thing that I proved is you can do it in a virtual machine. You can play this game in a virtual machine. So if you can take your phone, take another machine that is not a desktop or a laptop, and you can play a virtual machine on it. Inside the virtual machine, you should play this game without problems. Any other questions? If not, I'm going to leave Silas 2-3 minutes still playing if he wants. If anyone wants to come to play, it's fine. I remember the files for play this game or create this game. I give it to the CIS department. If you want it, please ask the CIS department of HLG.
Thank you, oh, you have a question, looks like.
Yeah.
Did you create the graphics or did you get them from someone?
Yes and no. Some of the graphics, like I tell, is graphics that are in old Pokemon games. So I keep it like that. Other graphics I create by myself with GIMP and Paint. Because like I tell, it's a really basic game, so you don't need to learn about Photoshop, you don't need to learn something hard. Just with GIMP and Paint, you can create characters, everything that you want to put in the game, you can do it with that.
You did say you created the logo.
Yeah, I create the logo. Of course, I took the part of Pokemon, because it's a part that all the games have. But the logo I created, I spent a lot of time, because I created first with GIMP, but I don't like how it was. So I take the paint and I did it by myself, around 5 hours doing the logo. And I really liked the logo. I put it in for the background for my laptop, just because I really like the work that I did. Any other questions?
So you said you're gonna try to finish the game at the end of the school year?
That's the idea. No, next year.
Yeah.
At the end of 2021, that's the idea.
Okay.
Hopefully I done my degree. But I don't know what is going to happen, because we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. So maybe in the end of 2021 is a long time. But that is the idea. That's my idea. Finish it, send it to the CIS department so everybody can share it, everybody can enjoy the game, and everybody can talk with the friends. I got a friend that creates an amazing, beautiful game of the school.
That's right. It's cool.
So, any more questions? If not, thank you for coming to my presentation. I really appreciate that you are here today, and I will see you soon.
All right, well, let's give Javi a hand. Thank you again for coming to support our students in this way. If you'll give them some feedback, I'll take the form, and I'm sure he'll be happy for you to come try his game if you prefer to try it on an individual basis to give it a test. So, thank you, and hope you have a good afternoon.
And so, it makes me nostalgic combining two things I love, Pokemon, HLGU. Oh, but now I have no Pokemon.
Because you didn't return to the
Yeah, I need to go back. Good job.
Javi, weight you lost. Weight
Thank
you
you,
lost.
thank you.
Yeah.
How much weight have you
No,
lost?
no, no, no. Pure muscle.
How much have you lost?
I don't know. It's like I stayed 2 weeks sitting down in quarantine, 24 hours. I don't know.
But you look like you lost 20 pounds.
That's better.
Yeah,
No,
that's good.
no more pizza Javi.
No, you're skinny.
Hey,
I know you're skinny.
I know.
Did you not eat for 2 weeks or what?
I ate, but I ate like once at a time, because they bring me the food, but I say, I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. Like, I didn't have anything. I just did this, you know. I was doing homework during 2 weeks.
You know, this next spring, availability, you know, maybe you could, after JV basketball,
Like I really enjoy
maybe a
it.
target forward.
I really miss the practice after forward. That is like they attack me with 100 homework every day, you know? And I'm finishing this, making this like beautiful.
El pueblo es con gordo.
That in spring is gonna happen in Morocco. Without problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll be there decent time if the review goes quickly. We
Thank
didn't
you.
end up having a need for makeup presenters.
Well, I moved it to